Hi everyone, I'm Dina with Mills Family Gardening. We live in North Texas, Zone 8A. Today is March 2nd and our average last frost date is about middle of March. And in this video, we're going to talk about what we can plant throughout the month of March. March is a very exciting month because temperatures go higher, it's much warmer outside, we can plant seeds outside, we can start some seeds indoors, and that's what we'll be talking about today. I'm going to be using a lot of names of plants, vegetables and flowers. For that reason, I'm going to use a cheat sheet because it's simply difficult to remember all of their names. And we're going to start with vegetables. What vegetables can we start by seed indoors? Indoors, we can start seeds of eggplant, peppers, squash, melons, zucchini, cucumbers, okra, roselle, and also all herbs can be started from seed indoors right now. If you have a limited grow light space, then you would like to give a priority to vegetable seeds like eggplant and peppers because those need really warm temperatures and it's still a little chilly outside. So for vegetables like squash and melon, zucchini, cucumber, okra, and even roselle, you can actually wait for temperatures to warm up significantly by the end of March, and then you can plant those seeds outside at the end of March or even beginning of April. The same can be applied to herbs. You can wait till the end of March to plant herbs like cilantro, dill, parsley, sage, oregano, thyme. You can plant all those seeds outside if you don't have enough room in the house. Now with seeds like okra and roselle, those seeds are large and they can take a long time to germinate. For that reason, you can soak them in warm water overnight, but not longer than 8 hours, and then you can plant them the next day or 8 hours later. Okra usually takes a long time to germinate and also grow before it starts growing flowers and then producing fruit. For that reason, I like to start okra seeds indoors the beginning of March, and by the time it's beginning of April, I have good sized seedlings that I plant outside, and okra starts producing soon after I plant it in the ground. So I get a good harvest of okra much earlier than if I planted it outside end of March or April straight into the ground with seeds. Now let's talk about flowers that we can start from seed indoors. Let's talk about flowers first that can be started all throughout the month of March, and those are gomphrena, cosmos, eucalyptus, marigold, cornflower, zinnias, and sunflowers. At the end of March, you can start flower seeds like amaranth and celosia and eucalyptus. Since those flowers require much warmer temperatures to grow well, you want to wait till the end of March to start those seeds. Now again, with certain flowers like marigolds and cornflower and zinnias and sunflowers, they're very easy to plant those seeds straight into the ground, and that will save your space under the grow lights. These flowers usually germinate and start growing after germination pretty fast. For that reason, I normally plant them outside because I simply don't have enough space under the grow lights indoors. Now let's talk about what vegetable seeds we can plant directly into the ground, not transplants, but seeds directly into the ground. Let me give you a list of vegetables that you can plant in early March. You can plant their seeds in the ground. Those vegetables are peas, collard greens, scallions, spinach, and all kinds of herbs like basil, dill, cilantro, parsley, sage, oregano, thyme. Now when it comes to basil, you have to be careful with temperatures because in March there's a very good chance that we can still get freezing temperatures to at least 32 degrees Fahrenheit and even lower. And then if basil sprouts and those low temperatures arrive, then basil seedlings would die. So make sure you watch your weather forecast and know exactly what temperatures we expect. If there is no freezing temperatures, then you can go ahead and plant basil straight into the ground. Now dill, cilantro, parsley, sage, oregano, and thyme, they can tolerate pretty low temperatures. They can tolerate frost. That's why you can plant those seeds directly into the ground and not worry that they would die. But like I mentioned earlier, all these herbs can also be started indoors, and then when it warms up or the danger of the last frost passes, you can plant all those seedlings into the ground. Now the next group of vegetables vegetables can be planted from seeds straight into the ground, outdoors, all throughout the month of March. And those vegetables are beets, carrots, kale, kohlrabi, lettuce, mustard greens, Swiss chard, and turnips. Those vegetables are very frost tolerant, they're even cold tolerant, and they'll be fine just being planted outside. In fact, just a few days ago, I planted some vegetables like turnips and green radishes, kohlrabi, straight into the ground. I've been watering them and their seeds have just recently started coming up. Usually here in North Texas, there's a very low chance that we might get a frost or hard freeze after March 20th. I mean, there is a chance, but it's very low. For that reason, you can plant outside in late March the following seeds: bush beans, pole beans, corn, summer squash, melons like cantaloupe and watermelons, and also radishes can be planted outside, also in late March. But again, these vegetables are all warm weather loving plants, well, except for radishes. That's why watch your weather forecast. Make sure we're not going to get any low temperatures, because corn seeds, if they sit in the wet and cold ground, they will certainly rot and you will lose your seeds. It's not a big deal. You can buy new seeds, but just be aware that those seeds can rot sitting in cold and wet ground. March is an exciting month, not only because we can plant seeds directly into the ground, but there are so many vegetables and flowers that we can transplant into the ground finally after we kept them indoors and after we harden them off well, we can plant them outside. And these vegetables are potatoes. Now with potatoes, you'll have to buy already sprouted seed potatoes at a store. You cannot purchase them online because by the time they arrive, it will be too late in the season. It will be too hot for them and they won't grow that well. Usually Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot or other garden centers would carry seed potatoes, and you can buy them there and plant them in the ground. Also in early March, we can plant outside asparagus crowns, broccoli, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage, collard greens, kohlrabi, mustard greens, spinach, and Swiss chard. The next three vegetables can be transplanted outside all throughout the month of March, and those are kale, lettuce, and Swiss chard. They're a little bit more tolerant of warmer temperatures. That is why they can be planted in late March also. Now let's talk about the vegetables that we can transplant outside, and it's better to do it in late March rather than beginning of March because they're more warm weather loving vegetables. And those are tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, cucumbers, squash and zucchinis, southern greens, watermelon, cantaloupe, and all herbs can be all planted at the end of March. Now let's talk about flowers that can be transplanted outside in early March. Those flowers are dianthus, poppies, feverfew, scabiosa, snapdragon, statice, stalk, straw flower, yarrow, and also violas, cyclamen, and poppies. Now you have to be very careful with scabiosa because it can be very invasive. In fact, our scabiosa that we have in the backyard survived the last freeze where the temperatures went down to 11 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 nights in a row, and they are just fine. I see some new growth there, so they can become very invasive in Texas. That's why make sure to harvest scabiosa flowers before they set seeds so they would not germinate in the ground and grow new plants. The following flowers can be transplanted outside all throughout the month of March, and those are pansies, dianthus, sweet alyssum, snaps, ornamental kale, and ornamental cabbage. Now let's talk about what flowers can be transplanted outside in late March. Those flowers are petunias, snapdragons, stalk, straw flower, sunflowers, zinnias, geraniums, roses, all perennial flowers, Amy, cornflower, cosmos, gomphrena, lobelia, and marigolds. Just a few days ago, I transplanted straw flowers in the ground, and straw flowers can tolerate temperatures all the way down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And in March, there's a very low chance that our temperatures would go that low. And also, I started some petunia seeds back in January. I know it was too early, and now they're so big, they can't wait to grow into the ground or containers. But I want to wait and make sure that we don't have any cold temperatures because petunias don't do well at temperatures below 40 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Also in March, it's important to do other garden jobs like harden off your seedlings. You can also plant trees all throughout March. And also in March, that's when cabbage moths are becoming more active, and they lay their eggs on all the plants in cabbage family like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, kale, kohlrabi, and they start chewing on their leaves, damaging the leaves, creating a lot of holes, and the plants cannot photosynthesize very well and don't grow well. For that reason, make sure either to cover your plants with an insect mesh or spray them with BT or spinosad. Obviously, if you live in a colder climate, you can adjust the schedule by a couple of weeks or even a month, and for some people even 2 months, depending on where you live. And that's all for today. That's all the vegetables that we can start from seed and transplant outside. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day.